You'll get your money's...
We've got you.
is supposed.
Professor, I'm sorry to have dragged you into the fight again so soon after our reunion, but you appeared at a most opportune time. I'm truly humbled by your support, my teacher. Thank you. And so I will. I'm hoping your abilities from 5 years prior are still intact. Make sure you're ready to head out, okay?
Allow me to breathe. The Empire firmly controls the western portion of Fargus. However, the central and eastern regions continue to put up heavy resistance. The strongholds in these regions we cannot control. As for the Alliance, however, due to Claude, obviously, but because we have had to focus, we have only recently. I have a request from you.
Professor, do you know how happy? I'll tell you how happy. For the past 2 days, I haven't had my morning or my after. Yes.
I'm getting the hang of it.
You finally joined us, have you? I feel like it's straight. Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. Wonderful news.
I'm getting.
His Highness, his powerful army has joined forces with the Knights of Saros, who moved, and now they're presenting a united front against the Imperial army. They're our greatest enemy, absolutely. Presently, Judith, we can't afford to drop our... I need a favor.
No, since the great you'd probably have... Who, me?
Need something? See you again soon.
Yes. Edelgard's empire and religion are at open war. It will be, but corrupt nobles are many. That means that with you, Professor, the battle...
For 5 years, I fought for the Empire. I've cut down hordes of enemies. Now I have the same look in my eyes, the look of a savage beast who loves nothing but destruction and violence. You and Edelgard must not. The future you're building had better be... It was meant to be. All right, next.
Witness frigid pride! Witness frigid pride! Witness frigid pride! With all of my might! I fight for justice's name.
Professor! Oh my. These days, so many old. It's incredible. I have a feeling your name will go down in history.
Hey, welcome. Come again.
Hello there. Return soon, please.
I knew you. Where I was other than you.
Yes.
I think I like this, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
Oh, I love this meal. How did you know?
What?
A moment. Well done, Professor. Thank you. Allow me to brief you. The Empire, the strong, as for the... However, Claude, but we have only...
What's that look on your... I'm a mercenary. I never was too, but I might change...
Okay. Are we leaving? But it's fine. I can do this. No, oh. This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with. Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger? I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Middle Franc Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started. That's sweet of you, even if you are just flirting. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me, someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist.
I'm so sick of it all. There is so much to be done, yet all I encounter are new problems and pitfalls. Sometimes I wish I could spend just one day doing absolutely nothing and gorging myself on sweets. Do you mean it? Just the thought makes me happy, but Hubert would never allow it. Indeed. It may not be possible now, but one day we will know the joys of idling, mark my words. Is that a smirk I spy? Is it so amusing to you, me daydreaming of free time? I see. I'm finally getting an idea of what you think of me. But let's put all that aside for now. There is something I've been meaning to tell you. I'm afraid this might sound a bit sentimental. I want to thank you. Because of you, I feel I can walk my fated path without losing myself. If I were alone, I might have lost perspective and become a harsh leader with a heart of ice. But I'm not alone. With you by my side, I'm somehow free to be not only a leader, but simply Edelgard. Until now, no one has been able to surpass me, much less command me. I have always been seen as an untouchable princess or emperor. No one spoke to me as an equal or met my gaze without flinching. It was lonely, terribly lonely. The only person I could rely on as I tried to claw my way out of the darkness was myself. But you have been a brilliant light. Somehow you have chased the darkness away. And for that, I will always be grateful.
Hey, Professor, something's been bothering. Remember that suspicious guy I chased after back when a knight scolded me for it? But at the time, I really thought, now that I've had more experience on the...
I've been looking for you. There isn't much time, so the knights encountered a band of brigands while out. Our soldiers are highly trained. There were a number of casualties. Much appreciated, but there's a reason I need to... The brigands all bore identical tattoos of a score. Please, keep an eye out for...
Oh, no.
Don't mention it. If you...
Heck of a... As soon as I mention that suspicious guy. But some of them... They died because of what I did. If I'd stayed quiet and tracked the guy down like you said, we would have stopped those brigands sooner. But he probably wouldn't have. We both know it.
I suppose...
much.
The newly crowned king of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, Dimitri, has declared fealty to the Church of Seiros and is raising an army in preparation for all-out war with the Empire. As leader of the Alliance, Claude maintains a facade of neutrality amidst infighting between those who support and those who oppose the Empire. Meanwhile, the Black Eagle Strike Force plans to capture Alliance territory before Edelgard takes the war to the Kingdom and the Church of Seiros. With sights set on capturing Deirdre at the center of House Regan's territory, she leads a march across the Great Bridge of Myrddin to establish a bridgehead.
We're about to commence our attack on the Great Bridge of Myrddin. But first, allow me a moment of your time. It is something that I can only ask of you. Listen well. It concerns Lady Edelgard's uncle, the Regent of the Empire, Lord Arundel. Although he is currently cooperating with Her Majesty, he maintains his own sizable military. It seems to me that his plans differ from our... I assume you recall a certain group scheming from 5 Solon and Kranya. They both served the Lord. Professor, I understand how you must be feeling, considering what they did to your father. I know it must be foul to even consider cooperating with their kind. However, their power is essential for us at present. Edelgard also strongly opposed the idea at first. Our enemy is the Church of Seiros itself. It cannot be toppled with the Empire's might alone. Those working under Lord Arundel are extremely hostile, and the enemy of our enemy is... well, I think you sufficiently understand by... Until all of Fodlan is united, it is a necessary evil. As for how we deal with him afterward, regardless, Her Majesty and I wish to join our power with... You should know that in her heart, Her Majesty regards that group as enemies of herself and her family. They used her father, the former emperor, as a puppet, and murdered her siblings with their vile experimentation. I believe Her Majesty may have told you some of this herself. That is why this was I will do all I can to ensure her suffering is not in vain. And I hope I can count on you to... As for all I have told you, please keep it in mind as we march forward. More importantly, I implore you to fight as best you can for Edelgard. From the bottom of my heart.
We'll be capturing the Great Bridge of Myrden, a key strategic location of the Leicester Alliance. Claude will surely be sending reinforcements, so we must prevail before...
Our opponent, he can handle her, so long as we don't get careless.
The boy said to run if I was in danger, but I could never do that. I'll hold out until reinforcements arrive.
I will prevail. My heart burns with pride.
At your service.
I'll cut through.
For the Empire! More fighting. Time for your last dance! Winning is what matters.
You make me feel safe.
What's my strategy?
I'll cut a bloody path.
Ready when you are. Let's clean up.
Ready for anything.
I'm awake.
Start coming!
Your end has come!
I do not tolerate obstacles.
Maybe... Thanks. A tragic end.
It was meant to be.
Very impressive.
Allow me to demonstrate!
All is going to plan. Thank you. This is the cost of war. I will see this war through. This is the cost of war.
Judith!
Why do I have to put up with orders from that false leader?
Because you're from the smallest noble house in all the Alliance, you whiner.
Enemy reinforcements. We didn't finish in time. Don't let them secure the ballista.
Here is something to believe in! I must lead them well. All
thinning their numbers.
You're all Captain Gerald's enemies, and I will avenge him here.
Yeah! Yeah!
No use! I fight for justice's name. For Brid...
Her will demands it. It is...
I am helping.
For the fate of Fogo. Going for the kill. Stay down.
Battle.
Doesn't matter who.
Judith, I'm sorry. I'll leave the rest to you.
Leone, you had such a full life ahead of you. I wish I could take your place.
There's no reason I should die in.
Feels good to fight for a cause. More.
I will see this war through.
Ready when you are.
What's my strategy?
I will prevail.
I'll cut a bloody path.
For the Empire!
Ignatz, damn it! Such a good kid. He died too young.
At your service. More fighting.
All who are able, retreat!
Don't let her escape. If we can take her out now, the Daphnal Terror, that will allow us to march.
Keep up the pace!
Predictable. It's over. All is going to plan.
And I'll...
Ready for anything.
Let's clean up.
I'll cut through. One to remember. Straight. I'm awake.
I do not tolerate obstacles. Each milestone.
You're not so fast. No time for pity.
It looks like I'm done for. Claude, I'm sorry.
Alliance soldiers! Judith has fallen. Further conflict is futile. If you surrender, your lives will be spared. Lay down your weapons immediately.
so much.
You have all fought well. With this victory, we now have a foothold in the Alliance. The Imperial Army will cross the Aramid River and push the front lines forward. The fight will continue, but do not allow that to stop you from taking pride in our hard-won victory.
Ah, this should put a stop to one of Edelgard's choice phrases. Well done, Professor. I believe it was, if only the Professor were here, we could forge ahead and change the tides of this war.
Ferdinand, it is not necessary to tell the Professor such things.
We're not the only ones benefiting. The whole Imperial Army is stronger now.
Yes, it seems the Empire finally has both of its legs to stand on. Don't you agree?
You make it sound as though I can't run the Empire on my own. Perhaps it's more apt to say that the Pegasus has recovered its home.
Judith of Daphne. What a magnificent warrior. I'm happy to have the Professor back just like old times, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this cruel exchange of lives.
When there is something you must not be conceding, you must keep fighting. The fighting has been continuing for 5 years. But now I am again witnessing the Professor's power.
I hate fighting. But with the Professor here, maybe it's slightly less terrible? Oh, but everyone is working so hard! Stop it, Bernie. You can't be the only one complaining.
I'm glad to see everyone so inspired. It seems the reappearance of the Professor has done much to raise your morale.
Do you not feel the same, Hubert? Come now, be honest with yourself. Now, we must take advantage of the situation and blaze ahead. Our path is still a long one.
Part 2. Crimson Flower. Guardian Moon. The Master Tactician. Having crushed the Alliance's army and captured the Great Bridge of Myrden, the Imperial Army prepares to attack Deirdre, the Alliance's base of operations.
Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around. I think you did most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Not sure. I might have an idea, but never mind. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders. Huh. I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still, I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leader of the Imperial Army. Funny to think you used to just teach at the Officers' Academy. Your old students still call you Professor. That's no title for the commander of an army. Relax. You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone. But I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused. Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda, up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry, though. I don't plan to turn on you.
Professor, what is your opinion of Claude? I can't help but wonder what sort of impression he made on you. That much is obvious. He acts like a fool, but still manages to make the impossible happen. That's as true now as ever. He's managed to protect the Leicester Alliance with his cunning alone. Since the beginning, territories within the Alliance have been split between those who support the Empire and those who oppose it. Claude has been acting as an intermediary between the two, essentially keeping the Alliance pacified. As both sides are of equal strength, he's created a situation in which they've all agreed to avoid fighting each other and causing undue bloodshed. By carrying on as though the Alliance is united, he's minimized the Empire's influence there.
It's quite impressive how well his bold scheme has worked out. However, he is walking on thin ice. One wrong move and the Alliance will shatter. Speaking of Claude, Your Majesty, we should not delay in our invasion of the Alliance. It would seem that Claude has some fresh scheme up his sleeve, to no one's surprise.
Is that so?
Yes. The people of Deirdre have suddenly found it difficult to leave or enter the city. We can safely assume he is preparing for battle. But I am certain his plans extend beyond that. Do you not think we should take Deirdre at once?
Deirdre, the aquatic capital. A city floating on the ocean certainly poses a challenge. Since it's deep within Regan territory, we haven't had the opportunity to attack it directly. However, now that we have control of the Great Bridge of Myrden, our situation has changed drastically. They can no longer expand their supply line into the Empire, and so we can finally attack Regan territory.
House Regan is not only Claude's house, but also the flagship of those who oppose the Empire within the Alliance. If House Regan falls, the other Alliance lords will be tripping over themselves to join. That is why we cannot fail to take Deirdre. Confidence is one thing, Professor, but see to it that you do not underestimate Claude. The leader of the Alliance has had many things said about him. They say he is unbeatable in a battle of intellect. I hear they call him the Master Tactician.
Thank you for inviting. Thank you. Quite delicious. Yes. 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 Are you sure? Yes. Are you sure? Oh no. Thank you.
Easy.